Hey, yo, do you get nervous during job interviews? Of course you do. You're human. I got 4 things that are going to help you with that. What up, fam? Dr. James W. Stalkup, aka Jimmy Joe Coltrane. I'm like the Steve McQueen of getting you green. So let's get started. There's 4 little tricks I want to talk about in dealing with anxiety. I did an interview series in which every single applicant was very, very anxious. And when I say very anxious, I mean to the point of shaking. Anxiety is inherent in this. There's 4 tricks I want to cover today that will kind of help with anxiety. It won't get rid of it entirely, but it will make it more manageable. Anxiety is at its worst in a job interview when it starts affecting the content that you deliver. And so point number 2, we're going to specifically talk about that. So the first point, to help with your anxiety, depersonalize the interviewer. What does that mean? Don't view the interviewer as a person. You will hear me call the interviewer the obstacle. I call them the obstacle because in my mind, that is an inanimate object that you have to interact with to get the job. Does that sound harsh? That job could be done by a kiosk. I'm an obstacle. I interview people. I will be the first to tell you that that role is an obstacle to you. So, I'm going to be careful how I phrase this. If there was a rock on your path and you had to climb over the rock, it might take effort, it might be difficult, but you wouldn't somehow be fearful of the rock or angry at the rock. The rock wouldn't intimidate you. It would just be something that you had to deal with. So depersonalize that interviewer. Don't put them up on a pedestal. They don't control whether you get a job. You control whether you get a job. So prepare and be the best candidate. Second thing, and this is something that affects your content. So anxiety will lead to freestyling, which will lead to longer answers to an interview question. Now listen, let me say that again. Anxiety will cause freestyling meaning scrambling for something to say, which will make your answers run long and it will hurt you in an interview. So here's how you deal with that. You prepare personalized content, you deliver the content, and then stop talking. The answer has an arc. It's like a little story. You start, you know exactly what to say, and you stop and you finish. That will help your anxiety a great deal because as you develop that content, you won't be in a never-ending feedback loop of, I'm nervous, so I talk more, which makes my answer go longer, and then that makes me nervous, and then I talk more. You don't want to be in that feedback loop. Third thing, practice, practice, practice. And not just so you learn the content. And practice is easy. I want you wearing your one good interview outfit. That's right, you only have to have one. And I want you practicing with an unskilled interviewer, a friend, a family member. And this does 2 things. It helps you to learn your personalized content so that you know it very, very well, but also it gets you in a habit of wearing that outfit. So you talk to an athlete and they say, when I put those pads on, when I put that uniform on, I'm ready to go. It's because they have been conditioned to assume the role of an athlete in that sport as they're suiting up. This becomes a familiar, habitual sort of ritual that you do before you actually go out and perform. In the same way that if you practice by wearing your interview outfit, that will become familiar to you. That is your uniform. That is what you put on before you go to battle. So the 4th thing that's going to reduce your anxiety, minimize unfamiliar environments. You are going to do interviews in office buildings. Office buildings don't show that much variation. Try not to do an interview at an amusement park. Try not to do an interview at a bar. Try not to do an interview at an unfamiliar place. I do not mind at all being interviewed or conducting interviews anywhere. I would prefer not to do it on a patio drinking a glass of tea. I don't like it. It's unfamiliar to me. It doesn't feel like an interview. It creeps me out. I don't want to be friends with the obstacle. The obstacle should not want to be friends with me. What exactly is going on here? So if you can, push for the in-office interview to minimize those sort of unfamiliar circumstances. Hey, so a couple things I want you to do. Click like and click subscribe. We're a new channel. We can use all the help we can get. And even if you're not looking for a job, clicking like and subscribe might help somebody else to get one. Secondly, check out the online content. So there's a link in the description. We've taken the Interview Dynamics course and condensed the whole live course down into online content. 16 lectures, 4.5 hours, plus some practice on your own. For the cost of a box of light bulbs, you can take this course and get the skills that you need to go out and get the job that you want. Thanks for watching.